Hey guys, it's Troy. Welcome to another episode. Reject first, how a king chooses his kingdom and his queen. Okay, reject first. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that most guys tend to go out into the dating arena not as the chooser, but as the one who is hoping to be chosen. Okay, so think about the language that men use around dating. You know, if they go on a date with a woman and then it leads to intimacy, the next day he might say to his friends, yeah, I got lucky last night, right? Think about that language and what that language means. I got lucky, okay? He was granted a gift by this woman or by the universe, okay? That possibly he kind of in some way feels he wasn't merited, okay? He got lucky. It wasn't meant to happen, but it did anyway, against the fates. And so, congratulations all round, okay? That's completely the wrong way to think about it, all right? That's absolutely the wrong way to think about it. What you should be thinking instead, if you want to think about it in those terms, is she got lucky because she got to spend an extended period of time with me. She got to spend intimate time with me, and I don't give my time away for free because I'm a high value guy, right? That's the way if you want to think about it in those terms, and you don't need to think about it in a transactional way like that, but if you do want to think about it like that, that's the frame you should be coming from. Not, I got lucky, but she got lucky, okay? As I say, most guys go into dating hoping that they're going to get picked, all right? So the guy, maybe he's doing, you know, he's approaching during the daytime. Maybe he meets women in bars or lounges at night. Maybe he uses one of the dating apps. Maybe it's a combination of all of them, and you know, whatever. And so he gets on some dates, and he's excited for the date, and he's hoping the date goes well. He's hoping that the date is going to lead to something, right? Some kind of intimacy, maybe a kiss, or at least, you know, the promise of a second date, okay? He's hoping it's going to lead somewhere. And he spends the day in the build up to that date thinking, oh, you know, so what shall I wear? So how should I do my hair? What cologne should I wear? You know, what things can I talk to her about? Maybe he Googles or he chat GPTs, you know, oh, what kind of conversation topics could I use to impress her so that she likes me? All of the energy is expended on what do I need to do in order to impress her? None of the energy, zero energy, is expended on what does she need to do in order to impress me? And that's precisely where you're going wrong. That's precisely where your mindset is flawed. Because all of the energy should be, okay, she's pretty, we've met, maybe we met on an app or whatever, great. But again, I'm a high value man. I don't spend my time with just anybody, okay? I don't just, you know, give away 90 minutes or 2 hours of my time just to some random person for the fun of it, because I've got important things to do, all right? I've got work to do, I've got calls to make, I've got friends to stay in contact with, I've got meetings to attend, I've got travel stuff to plan, right? So the filtering process should actually be very, very high. The filtering process should be, yes, okay, she's pretty, but that's a given because, you know, obviously I want to meet someone I'm attracted to. So that's a given, that's fine. But there's a lot of pretty people in the world, okay? There are a lot of attractive women in the world. I mean, there's 8 billion people, 8 billion of us, half of those are women, you know. Out of that 4 billion, there's going to be quite a few attractive ones or ones that are your type, let's say. So prettiness, attractiveness is not a scarce resource. What is a scarce resource is somebody that you vibe with, who gets your, you know, your particular take on the world, and who reflects it back in a way that is complementary and supportive to you. Okay, you want somebody who you click with, basically, in common language, right? You want somebody you click with, you want somebody you gel with, you vibe with, whatever. That's the important thing. So when you go on the date. And even when you approach somebody, then the emphasis should be much, much more weighted, not towards, oh my God, am I dressed well enough? Is my hair all right? Do I look okay? I've got a bit of a hangover, you know, are there dark circles under my eyes? What's she going to think of me? Forget all of that. The emphasis should be, what is she going to do to impress me so that I want to spend more time with her, okay? That's what you should be thinking. Now, depending on where you're coming at with this, you know, depending on what your current state of affairs is, it could be argued that that's somewhat delusional. Maybe you're coming at this from an angle where you're not in the best place in your life. You're not the highest value that you could be, okay? And this is why we always bang on about the importance of self-improvement, because the foundation of all of this should be self-improvement. So even if we're not at the pinnacle, and none of us are, everybody has certain areas that they could or should be working on. Nevertheless, you should be working on those things, is the first thing. But secondly, the filtering process should remain intact anyway. If anything, the filtering process should be even higher, because then you're thinking, well, look, I've got these goals, I've got these aspirations, I've got these things that I want to do, and so I've got even less time to spend with some random person just because they happen to be superficially attractive, okay? So the bar for her spending time with you should be even higher. It should be, well, she's got to be really cool. She's got to be really impressive in order for me to want to spend more time with her. Now, okay, fine, the first date, whatever, you can go for a drink. It takes an hour and a half. That's not a huge investment of time. But for anything beyond that, including intimacy, but certainly dating or anything beyond that, your bar should be extremely high. Is this person good enough, okay? And you should therefore be prepared to walk if she doesn't meet up to those standards, especially if she's also very beautiful. Because this is where most men fall down. Because what they do instead is they just get beguiled by the beauty. They just get beguiled by the way she looks. And they forgive a lot, they forgive too much, because they are so ensnared by her aesthetic that they're just like, well, I'm lucky to have her. Again, I got lucky. I'm lucky to have her. So therefore, I will put up with anything. And that is absolutely not how you should proceed. That's absolutely not how you should be thinking. As I say, you need to flip the script on this one. You need to be the chooser, not her. Now, yes, obviously, it takes two to tango, right? She also has to choose you, of course, right? And if she doesn't like you, she doesn't like you, and that's fine, that's fair enough. Not every woman's gonna like you, that's just how life is. But you should go into the date, you should go into the interaction with the assumption, firstly, I'm a high value man, so she's gonna like me. And secondly, the main question here is actually not that. The main question here is she worthy of my time? All right, that's the mindset that you should have. That's the way you should be thinking about it. If it happens that she's, not interested in you for whatever reason, okay, fine, chalk it up to experience, say goodbye, move on to someone else. Not a problem, okay? There's 4 billion of the rest of them out there. You've got a lot to go on, okay? There's no shortage of human beings on the planet that you could potentially date. But if she is open to you, then the decision of whether, okay, are we going to continue with this? Are we going to do something further? Are we going to meet again? Are we going to spend more of this evening together? Should lie with you. And it should very much be based on, okay, what other worth is this person bringing to the table other than her aesthetics, okay? And once more, I hammer the point home because I feel that a lot of guys are so led by their attraction. They're so led by their superficial attraction that they don't even think about this other stuff. But being the selector naturally makes you appear more high value than most of the other guys around you. Remember, dating is a value exchange, right? She wants the highest value dude.
I'm missing you, and I give all for the price of a pint. I'm missing you under Piccadilly, clear blue sky.
Good voice. She wants the highest value guy that she can get. And if you are able to appear as the selector, okay, if you're able to be that guy who will not just take any old BS, all right, and potentially even reject her, even if she's decent looking, because of certain aspects of her personality, that immediately puts you in a higher tier than most other guys she will meet. Hope you enjoyed this one. Do subscribe, do give me a like, give me a comment. If you're interested in coaching, drop me an email, troy@realtroyfrancis.com, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.